Hey guys, how are you? This is Nuri Castillo Crawford. Um, I cannot believe that we are almost in or towards the end of January. Time has gone by very quickly. Anyway, I had a great weekend, and so far, so good this whole week. The weather has been cooperating. Um, Last week, we, had all those inclement weather days, and so it was kind of crazy, especially because we missed school and all of that stuff. So I'm totally happy that this week has been just normal, and we've all been to school and everything. So I try not to get political or anything on anything that I do in life, but one of the things that's been on my mind has been DACA. It didn't get passed, and they're going to reconvene on February the 8th, the Senate, and they're going to try to hash it out again and see if the Republicans and the Democrats can come up with a solution to help these kids. Now, if most of you that do know me would probably say that I'm pretty much a rule follower, and I just am. I like structure, I like rules, and I'm a planner, and so those are some of the traits that make up who I am. But also, I'm not and never was a recipient of DACA, but you know my story. I came to this country when I was 10 years old. And I think about that, right? I think about, well, when I was 10, I had no choice. There were no options for me as to do I stay in in South America, in Peru, without my parents, or do I come to the United States with my parents? Well, even if I had a choice, I would have chosen to be with my mom and my dad because I was a little kid. I mean, I cannot imagine what my life would have been without my parents. So it's just, again, I'm a rule follower, but I also have a heart. I don't see how it's fair that we would put that kind of pressure and just try to instill guilt into young people that had no choice, in my book, no choice as to stay or come with their families. So although I try to stay out of that lane in terms of political things, I will say that the question of either you stand for something or will you fall for anything has come to my mind by me. I've asked myself that. So I just have to express that I feel it's not fair for any of us to put that kind of pressure on young people, and they're scared, etc. So I feel for them, and I just want to make sure that I do reiterate my support for the young people that have come to this country by no choice of their own and are now Americans with us. So last week I talked to you about kind of that I'm going to share a immigration contribution to this country, or even a product from another country that we've embedded into our culture. And then we'll get into maybe a tidbit about education or publishing, a book, something that maybe you might find helpful. Um, and then, of course, we'll close out with anything that I might have coming up with a book, etc. And definitely, if you ever have questions about anything, I want you to please either email me at 1010publishingus@gmail.com or hit me up on Twitter at RLNUNUCC or 3,585 miles to be an American girl. hit me up on Instagram at Tenton Publishing, or Facebook at Tenton Publishing. That's 1010 Publishing. Ask me any questions, and I'll definitely, you can also leave me a message below, and I'll answer you there too. So, my tidbit, I'll put my little handy dandy glasses on, about immigration. Did you know that there's approximately 43.3 million foreign born people that live in the United States? Wow. So, broken down by immigration status, the foreign born population includes 20.7 million naturalized U.S. citizens, that's people with green cards, and 22.6 million non citizens. Of the non citizen people, approximately 13.1 million are lawful permanent residents, and 11.1 million are unauthorized migrants, and 1.7 million hold temporary visas. So out of the 43.3 million foreign-born people that live in the U.S., 11.1 million are unauthorized migrants, and so some people call them illegal immigrants. So wow, that's a lot of people that were born outside of the United States of America. Me being one of them, my family, my immediate family, my father, my mother, God rest her soul, she passed away 5 years ago. My sister, who's 2 years younger than I am, and my brother, who's 10 years younger than I am. He lives in California. So it's a lot of people, and wow, diverse country, and I love it. All right, so a couple of weeks ago, I talked to you about the pros and cons of traditional publishing companies. Tenton Publishing is what I have. It's a hybrid publishing company. Last week, we talked a little bit about self-publishing. And so this week, I thought, hey, let's talk about hybrid publishing companies. So those are the three ways that you can publish your literary work, your book, comic book, etc. So, hybrid publishing company. In layman's terms, to me, a hybrid publishing company is just basically right smack in the middle. All right, pros and cons for a hybrid publishing company, to me, would be some of the things that traditional publishing companies have, which is brand identification. You get consultation, and you get help marketing your book out. Also, some of the pros in hybrid publishing companies can be best aligned to self-publishing. You have more control over your own book, and you will get more profits because there's less overhead in a hybrid publishing company. You don't need a book agent, and so for a traditional publishing company, they won't see you and consider anything without an agent, and so that alone would save you. So those are the pros to me. Some of the cons would be that you have to pretty much invest in your own product. So you're going to have out-of-pocket expenses. Whereas in a traditional publishing company, thousands get submitted, manuscripts get submitted, and they might pick 7 to 10 a year. But once you get picked in a traditional publishing company, they'll give you an advance most likely. And then you pay it off once the book gets chosen and starts being sold. Your royalties will be a little less until you pay it off, and then they'll increase, like usually after the second year. The first year, starting the second year. With a hybrid publishing company, you will help with all of the costs. You will get no advance. So different hybrid publishing companies have different costs. So you have to research and figure out which one best fits you. And your pocketbook, and maybe their brand notoriety too. Also, another con for a hybrid publishing company is that they don't have, they're smaller, so they don't always have all of the relationships in terms of bookstores, etc., that traditional companies do. I mean, that's just the fact, So hybrid publishing companies have less overhead, so they might have to work a little bit harder, and have most likely have less contacts than traditional publishing companies that have been established for a long time. So I think the biggest con for most people is the fact that they have to invest their own money. But if you believe in your work and you want to get your book published, then I think it's probably one of the easiest ways, because most hybrid publishing companies, after they build a rapport with you and they find out what your book is, they read your book, and they select your book, because hybrid publishing companies still have to be very selective. But once you have that done and you're selected, then I think that you get a little bit more one-on-one attention than a traditional company. To me, that's valuable as well. And also, compared to self-publishing, which most people that self-publish sell less than 200 books, hybrid publishing companies will sell more because they're invested in it too. So it's kind of in the middle. Like I said before, it's in the middle. If you are interested in having your literary work published by a hybrid publishing company, contact me and let us talk about the possibility of us collaborating and getting your book published. I do have a general package that's pretty much general for everybody. But if you have a special project, we definitely can, have a specific contract created for your specific need. So, we definitely can create a very specialized package for your literary work needs, with time frames that would be conducive to both of our schedules. So if you are interested in anything getting published, or you know someone, please share this blog with them. A lot of people ask me questions, and I definitely have been directing people back to this blog, either through YouTube or through 1010 Publishing Wix site. That's WIXSITE, 1010 Publishing Wix site. So once again, if you want to get in touch with me, please email me at 1010publishingus@gmail.com. You can find me on Facebook at 1010 Publishing, and you can find me on Instagram at 1010 Publishing. That's 1010 Publishing. On Twitter, I am at RLNUNUCC. And I'm also at 3,585 miles to be an American girl. Obviously, I'm on YouTube under Nuri Castillo Crawford, and I'm also on LinkedIn under Nuri, Nury Castillo Crawford. So look me up. I'd love to connect with you. I'd love to help you get your book published. And I would really appreciate it if you would share that information with others. My second soiree gathering celebration is going to be March the 23rd in Tallahassee, Florida. I'm actually gonna have it at my old high school alma mater, uh, James S. Rickards High School, from 6 to 9 p.m. in the Media Center. So I hope to see all of my friends there. I'm opening them up. I'm opening up my calendar because I'm trying to see if I'm supposed to be sharing some other information with you about the end of the month. I think I don't. My next booking is I have an interview on February the 1st at Write the Book Now. And then I have a visit to Winder Elementary School on February the 23rd. So I'm definitely excited to join the kids at Winder Elementary School. Yay, Barrow County. And I also have an interview on February 23rd with Ed Talk Radio. So those are the things that I have coming up. I'm totally excited about joining Winder Elementary School and having the interview. The interviews that I did this past weekend, I'll be posting soon. They said they should be ready in about 2 weeks. So have a great rest of the week and have a blessed weekend. And I will see you next week. Bye, guys.